Hello everyone, it's week 2 of the Masterboard prompt in the Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium. Now, of course, last week we were busy creating our masterboards and you have come up with some amazing artwork. Oh my goodness me, what a joy it's been in the Facebook group this week. And for anybody who wants to follow along with our challenges, I'll leave the link to the Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium, in the description box below. Please do feel free to come along and join us. Now, these are a few of the ones I created last week. I think I did 10 in the end, but these are the ones I've chosen that I might like to work on this week. I never work on my masterboards. I keep them as masters, hence the name Masterboard. I always get mine scanned and photocopied. These were created on 250 GSM mixed media paper. You can, of course, work on your originals if you want to. I just choose not to. So I took mine off to my local printers. I've also done some at home, which I'll show you in a second so that you can see the difference as well. Now, because of our COVID restrictions here, you can't actually go into the shop. You have to book by appointment, drop your pieces that you want photocopied in through a hatch and then pick them up later, which is, you know, no hardship to me. So these are the ones, whoops, there's one of my hairs. These are the ones that I've had done. I've had these done double-sided, so let me just show you the ones that I've had those from. So I've had that one and that one done. I thought those matched really well. And for this one here, I used these 2 copies here. I think those will be great for a project. These were done on 400 GSM satin cardstock. It's just beautiful. It's so much easier to work with, I find, than the mixed media paper, which is quite stiff, as you can see, is curling. I just, you know, prefer to work on this. Quite often I prefer the ones that I have copied than I do the originals that I work on, but you know, that's just me. I've also had some done on regular copier paper as well. Now, again, this is satin copier paper. It's just absolutely beautiful. They look so vibrant. I just absolutely love these. But I have done some at home as well, so that I can show you the difference. Now, these are laser copies, meaning that the ink is permanent. If you're using an inkjet printer at home, of course, you might need to seal it depending on what you're planning on using them for, because, you know, the ink could possibly run. Now, here I've got a mixture of the copies that I had done at the print shop and the ones that I've printed off at home on my inkjet printer. Be honest, can you tell the difference? And pause it now, leave your answer below before you cheat and I tell you what the answer is. Now, these ones here have been done on my inkjet printer at home. They're beautiful. They've come out really, really well. Now, because it's inkjet, of course, you know, there's a chance that the ink could run, which may or may not be important. It depends on what you're planning on using them for. If that's an issue, you can always spray them using really, really cheap hairspray. The cheaper the better, or even a spray fixative. So you could do that. These are the ones that were done on a laser printer at the print shop. These are done on satin copier paper, whereas this is just done on cheap value copier paper. So these are much more of a matte finish, which some of you might prefer anyway. But, you know, perfectly usable, not quite as vibrant. There is a colour difference, but, you know, they're still absolutely gorgeous. What do you think? Now, I want to start off by making a really simple envelope. I've copied this onto 160 GSM cardstock. You can see that it's double-sided. And what I'm going to do, this was just done on my home printer, on the inkjet printer. And what I'm going to do is just try and get this centralised, leaving a bit of an overlap. So here like this, then pressing down using a bone folder or a lollipop stick, whatever you've got on hand will do fine. And then I'm going to fold the bottom up, or this will become the top flap. So I want a deeper fold at the top, flip it over and do a smaller one at the bottom, just like this. This is slightly thick because, of course, it's 160 GSM cardstock, but I just think that copy paper is a bit too flimsy for this. So just burnish that down using whatever you have. Then open it out, and what you want to do is cut these 4 corners away, leaving a slight triangle. So just cutting it away here like this. So there's the line. I'm going to go to the very slight left of that, leaving a bit of a triangle, which will just make it easier to pull the envelope together. And I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. So again, let me just show you. So there's the center here, so going slightly to the left of that, slightly to the right of this one here, and I'll do it on the top 2 corners as well. This is what my envelope looks like, and I've burnished down the edges as well to make sure it's nice and flat, and I want to close it. So I've added some glue just along this edge here and on the inside edge like that, and I'm just going to glue that shut. Use a lollipop stick just to burnish that down, and then I want to do the same with the bottom flap as well. I'm just using a piece of deli paper to catch the excess glue. Just stick that down as well. Again, just burnishing it down just to make sure that that glue's nice and firmly stuck. At this point, you can either glue your envelope shut, or you can add a couple of brads as a closure. I've got these gorgeous royal blue velvet brads here. I really like the size of these. They're, you know, tiny. I'm just going to pull these off the plastic backing if I can get them off, and I'm going to measure the center point. Let me just grab myself a pencil. So what does this measure here? So if we have it at about 13 like that, and then 6.5 is the center, so we'll make a mark there like that. I want it to go there. We'll do the same here, 13, so 6.5. So make a mark, and then I'm going to use my pokey tool, which I've got here. So where did I want that to go? Let's have a look. Yeah, that's about right. So I'm just going to use my pokey tool. Be really, really careful. You do not want to stab yourself. I want to add one on the other side as well. Just make sure you're using your hands to hold the envelope open, because you don't want to go through to the other side. But as I've said, be careful. These are sharp and you don't want to stab yourself. And then I'm just going to add these tiny little brads, which I think will look really, really cute. Let's twist that round so that it's in the right orientation, and then I'm just going to splay these out on the inside of my envelope. I don't know whether you can see that there. And then I'll add the one to the front as well. Let's just do that again, twist it round so that it's in the right orientation, and splay that out. And how cute does that look? That's just gorgeous. And then I've just got myself a piece of navy blue twine. I'm going to wrap that around a couple of times, and that is our gorgeous cute closure. That's way too long. I need to trim some off. Trim that off there. But wouldn't that make a lovely envelope to send some happy mail in? Who wouldn't love to receive an envelope like that? And you could always put a label on the front to address it to as well. That's actually quite nice and flat. Just show you this one here. I've made another one, this time with the blue on the reverse side of the print. Isn't that gorgeous as well? Now let me just show you the difference in the quality of these. This one here was printed out in best quality on my printer, whereas this was just normal. This is much more muted, and I've also got some lines as well. I don't know whether you can see them, whereas that hasn't happened on this one here. Still usable, but I think these print out better in best quality on your printer if you can possibly do it. I love those. I think they're gorgeous. Who wouldn't like to receive an envelope like that? For my next idea, I've cut a piece of double-sided cardstock again to 9.5 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to use my scoreboard, and I'm just going to score at 2.5 inches. Hang on, let me just find my bone folder. What have I done with it? Here it is. It's on the floor. So 2.5 inches. Does it really matter which end? Not really. I'm doing it on this side here because I want this to be the front. So I'm just scoring a couple of times like this, and then I'm going to fold it in this direction here. Now I want to make a scrap sampler booklet with this. Now this measures 2.5 inches. I do want to cover some of this up with some of this frayed linen fabric here. I'm just going to glue some of this down. I'm going to use a mixture of glue stick and 3-in-1. I'm just reaching for some deli paper. Which way round do I want to have it? It really makes no difference at all. Glue stick is absolutely great for using on fabric. I'm going to use a tiny bit of 3-in-1 as well, not too much because I don't want it to bleed through to the other side. So just a bit around the edge and in the middle like this, and this will just break up some of this pattern and also give the recipient you know, an extra embellishment to be able to use. I'm just going to glue that down centrally like that. Now, I just want to apply a focal image to the top of this page here, and I've pulled out one of my butterfly embellishments. I'll leave the link to this video here showing how I made these, but I'm just going to use a tiny bit of 3-in-1 just around the edge just to glue this down. It doesn't have to be flush right to the very edge. A bit of dimension is good. So we'll glue this onto the fabric, and then the recipient of this, the idea with these is that you send them off as happy mail for other people to use in their projects. You know, your scraps of course are always different to somebody else's, and you know, one person's scrap is another man's treasure, as they say, and then you know, this could always be cut off and used as an embellishment in its own right in a project. But I'm just going to weight that down for a second or two, and then we'll fill it with some scraps and goodies. Now I've pulled out some papers that all coordinate with the colours that are in this background here, and I just want to add these as a little happy mail idea. So I'm just going to add these. They measure no more than the width of the paper itself and slightly shorter. I've got some of this gorgeous paper. Some of this was gifted to me in Happy Mail. I've got napkins. Which way round should that go? Maybe like that. And I'm going to have some aimed towards the left of the paper and some towards the right. And I'm just going to keep loading this up like so. How shall I have this? I want the larger pieces to go first. Like this. This is a piece of one of my jelly prints. What else have we got? I've got a piece of dotty pink tissue paper, which I think goes really well, matches the colours on the front. I've got a napkin, a flamingo napkin, which I think matches. Some paper from Daphne's diary. As I said, I've just tried to pull out all kinds of bits and pieces of paper that match the colour scheme. I've got all my pieces here in the order that I want them, and I'm just going to add a tiny amount of glue just to the very, very top, just so that the recipient can use as much of this paper, beautiful, beautiful paper, as is possible. So I'm just going to keep gluing these like this. That's enough for them to stick. And as I've said, I can keep changing my deli paper just so that, you know, we don't end up in a horrible gluey mess. Add this one here like so. And I'm just going to keep going until everything is glued down just at the very, very top. Only a small amount of glue, that's all you need. Let me just give you a flip through of my sampler. Of course, that's the front cover, and the idea with this is that either you or your recipient takes the bits and pieces apart and actually uses the contents. So, you know, everything is just glued down with a tiny amount of glue stick. So we've got these gorgeous doilies at the top, some tags, little strips of bits and pieces, you know, Daphne's diary, bits and bobs, pieces of painty paper, napkins, pieces of gel prints and that kind of thing. There's absolutely all sorts in here, all beautifully colour coordinated. I just absolutely love this, and I'm actually inspired to go and make more of these in colour combinations as well, because I just think it's so nice having bits and pieces all together in one place with a specific colour combination. I think it just makes creating a whole lot easier. But wouldn't these make absolutely wonderful Happy Mail gifts as well? I mean, who wouldn't like to receive one of these? I just think they're absolutely lovely. But an idea for keeping this together: use some twine just to keep the top together. Here we go, like this. We can tie a knot, wrap this around like this, just to keep that top closed together until we need to use it, or if we want to send it out to our friends. Doesn't that look absolutely beautiful? I think these are just so inspiring, just absolutely gorgeous. Now, I do hope that this has given you some ideas as to how you can use the wonderful masterboards that you all created last week. I've been making these for years, and I've got several videos on my channel giving ideas as to how you can use them, and I'll leave links to some other videos for you in the description box below as well. I've got lots more ideas that you might take inspiration from. But if you've enjoyed my video today, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. As I always say, it really does let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, but most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.